Hello, Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to the Central New York Hockey Report podcast right here on the Studio 25 Podcast Network. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and we have got a great show lined up for you today. Folks, we're getting towards tournament time here in Central New York and all across the country in college hockey. And with us today is the head coach of the Utica Pioneers men's hockey team, who, by the way, are absolutely no strangers to big tournament games, Mr. Gary Heenan. Coach, how are you?
Hey, Scott, good morning.
How we doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So, Coach, we got, like I said, we got some big games coming up here. None bigger right now than the ones coming up this weekend here. You got a home and home with the Geneseo Ice Knights, your new UCHC neighbors, if you will. They're coming in as the number 13 team in the country. You guys are ranked 6th in the USCHO, 7th in the D3 Hockey News. How you feeling about the games this weekend?
Well, we're excited to play the opponent. We're certainly got the nerves up. This is a team that beat us 3 out of 5 last year. In their wins, they embarrassed us. Got out to real quick starts. Remembering I've watched this week the last two where they were up 4-0, 5-0. Really in the first period, and we made both of them a game a little bit. Got back to like 5-3 in both games, I think, before they pulled away, but we just didn't start on time. Really, some strange performances by some of our veteran players that made huge mistakes, and they had our way with our goalie back then, Piros, as well. He just didn't seem to be a good match for that opponent. So they probably have a ton of confidence coming in to play us, as they should based on last year. They just came off that huge weekend sweep in Chatham on the road, so they're while some might think Geneseo's down, I think they're kind of just waiting in the wings patiently and ready to pounce. So we've got our work cut out for us, and we're ready to play a ranked opponent.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and you do bring up a good point. Some people kind of said, they're just bobbing along. They're not the Geneseo team that everybody's used to. But I'll tell you, they looked pretty good last weekend against Oswego.
Yeah, and I think it's just mounted to that, right? Where they were kind of had some hiccups against some opponents they probably would love to have those games back, and then they get in and sweep a huge monster weekend standing wise against a team that's trying to win this conference and really establish themselves in Chatham. That play super hard, very well coached team.
Oh, we lost the audio. Oh,
And
there we go.
our
Yeah,
win
we
versus
lost the
Oswego.
audio.
Yeah, our win versus Oswego really righted our ship and got our confidence going, and it appears to do the same. I'm sure with Jenny. So this is it. The schedule couldn't have laid out better. I think for fans, we started the year with some monsters. Um, a lot of new bodies and minds in that game, and we didn't do as well as we thought we would. And it's taken some time to gel this group, but it looks like it's going in the right direction, and we'll be tested this weekend to see, in fact, if we're legit or not.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys started off with a murderer's row schedule. I mean, 2 games against Adrian, which you usually play anyways. I mean, Adrian's ranked 2 and 3 in the country, and then 2 more games against Hobart, who of course is number 1. Tough start, obviously, with the hard schedule like that, but you guys have certainly turned the ship around. 11 straight wins. You seem to be gelling all at the right time. So tell us a little bit about the getting the team moving forward after the start to the season and where you're at right now.
Yeah, I think we probably were a little too ambitious and a little too confident on what we had coming in. I don't mind the schedule. I mean, the schedule's frozen for the next 3 years, so it's going to be the same schedule. And everybody says you're playing those monsters. Well, in our eyes, we're supposed to be one of the monsters. So I love the schedule, and I think it's a great challenge. And I know our opponents, Adrian and Hobart, love the way it lined up, obviously. But games were competitive. We had 13 new players at the time. We now have 15 new players this year. And like I said, it was probably just a little ambitious with who we had in, but not apologizing for it. And our special teams were absolutely atrocious the first probably 8 weeks of the year, to be expected or should be expected, given the new bodies. We graduated 9 out of our 10 power play guys last year as we ended the year, and so it's taken us a while to get those going. I thought Elmira did an unbelievable job, really catching us off guard with pressure. I've never seen them pressure in the PK in the 25 years I've coached against them. And they did that. It really caught us by surprise on the weekend. Not having a practice in between those games really behooved and helped that team. So our PP, was a little disheveled with pressure. And so we'll see if Jenny watches those games and comes at us now. I certainly would. But we practiced against pressure all week, and we'll see if they change. But it's that time of year. Special teams, you're not going to get many opportunities. Jenny's a very disciplined team, as are we. So if you get two or three, you better capitalize on one of them at least. And we feel good about our special teams at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, you mentioned a ton of new guys coming in, but like we've already talked. I mean, you number one, you brought in a lot of talent, which always helps, right? And of course, getting them to gel at the right time. What are some of the things that you've seen out of your team that you like the most from the start of the season to this point?
Well, sometimes you have to abandon who you think you are and who you want to be based on what they bring to the table. And the last 6, 7, 10 years, we've really loved to be a low possession team and grind teams down and 5-man cycles, deactivation, and we started questioning it a little bit about 6 weeks into the year whether our guys were going to get that, and we did. I mean, I think we're back to what you're used to seeing with us. I really love our possession game down low. I really like our net front presence, the way it's come along. We were afraid of the net the first 6 weeks. We just didn't have bodies there. We were very perimeter. We were very soft skill. Our forecheck was non-existent. You couple that with non-existent special teams, we weren't a very good hockey team. We just weren't. So it's taken us a little longer than I would have liked. But again, given the amount of new bodies, I probably should have seen that more coming in and been a little more patient with the group.
Yeah, but like I said, you have to do what you have to do too. I mean, there it is right there. But going into this weekend, of course, if you win Friday night, you clinch your 10th straight UCHC regular season championship, which is an accomplishment that's unbelievable. But more importantly, too, that's going to give you home ice to the UCHC.
Yeah, and that's where we want to be, no question. We love our home ice. We love the home cooking. Um, Certainly our goal every year to win our league, and it is a streak that I think Jenny's well aware of, that we kind of backdoored into it last year. They had that huge upset against Naz in the last game of the year. Naz upset them to kind of backdoor our way into that title. So we now this year we definitely, the ball's in our court, and it's our job to get it done. And why wait for another game other than Friday night at home in front of what should be a great crowd? So we're excited about the opportunity to win our 10th, no question about it. And we've done a nice job winning the games we feel like we should have won up to this point. And you certainly can't look at it, Jenny, and say you should win. It's going to be a battle.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, after the Jenny home and home, you got Chatham coming to town, who they're an improved team. Their record is certainly better than it's been. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, I'll play us super hard. I mean, they beat us last year to shoot it out at their place. It's a team that Coach Gershia gets them going. I mean, they play with a monster edge. They talk trash. They're not afraid of going to the penalty box to prove that they're there that night. And he really squeezes that team hard and does a great job with them. Their first line's as good as anybody's. They had the player of the year last year, who's a special player. We have great respect for Chatham. They would love to have their game back in the playoffs against us last year, but I think that was definitely not who they were. Kind of caught them off guard in a playoff, and they'll learn from that experience. This is a real dangerous team. I believe they're a ranked opponent at this point. They're fighting for respect, and I think they deserve the respect. So we're definitely going to give it to them, and those should be two monster games for a lot at stake as well.
Yeah, and that's really what's making the conference fun too, right? Having the Jennies of the world in there, and now you got Chatham, like you said, fighting for respect. So all good things. It really is. But in this year too, of course, Utica is once again hosting the Frozen Four. Wasn't expected last year. Still a wonderful time. That I thought they did a wonderful job over the Nexus Center, but now you're right back at the Adirondack Bank Center. So, and right now you're at number 5 in the MPI. So obviously good things are happening for the Pioneers. Get into that NCAA's. Of course, you win the UCHC tournament, you're in for sure. So tell me, is it a different feeling this year going into knowing that the Frozen Four is going to be in your own backyard again, or is it a little bit different?
Well, it's kind of been a wave of emotions in that you have that 0-4 start, and then you lose to Hamilton as well as a very good team. They're obviously anchored in a spot right now, tournament wise. Walking around town, everybody was like, "Hey, you can't win every year, coach. Like it's okay." And it was exactly what I didn't want to hear. I thought there was plenty of hockey left to be played, and I believed in the group and the team we brought in, and we've clawed our way back in this thing, and no question when 6 years ago, whenever it was that we were given the hosting rights, the goal is to be in it. The pressure's on to be there, and I think a lot of people had given up on us locally on doing that, given our start. But to the credit of the guys, we put our noses down and got to work, and we have the opportunity to be there now. And just got off the practice where again we speak opportunities, and we have that opportunity in front of us. And so the goal is certainly to seal up an at-large guarantee by remaining in that top five area that we're in right now. It's super tight between
It is.
2 and 6 right now. Any win, any loss can really drop you or propel you. And like Aurora just felt that. Oswego just felt that. So you have a hiccup. We call them hiccups. If you have that hiccup there, I mean, you almost really bury yourself into your conference tournament chances only. So we've got 4 monster games against 2 teams that certainly can beat us if we're not on our game. No question about it. They can beat us if we're on our game. They're going to be so super tight checking. So there's a lot of hockey to be played still, but certainly it's our goal to be in that tournament.
Yeah, no doubt, and a lot of excellent hockey left to be played. It's going to be so much fun to watch. And you're a busy guy. Not only are you in the midst of this playoff hunt here with the Pioneers, but you're also involved with the Notre Dame Hockey Academy. So, if you would tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean it's been a great project for us. Keith Varney, CNY, and Robert Ash had put our heads together, thinking this was a perfect model given the facilities that we all shared, not only at the rink but the dorm, the apartment building, and then Notre Dame, of course, opening, kind of red carpeting us and welcoming us into their storied institution. So it's been a real win with the one team we've had. They're ultra competitive. They're a top 22 team, 25 team in the country, and um, Justin Allen, former All American for us, and Brian Landsberger, those coaches, former All Conference goalie for us, and they've done an unbelievable job. So we'll welcome a second team next year, and we'll build from underneath. It'll be a third team year 3, and it's just been awesome. The kids and the families we brought into this group have lent to the success it's had, and the community's just opened the doors to them, and the school's been just tremendous, accommodating this group that has a crazy travel schedule, traveling way more than we do to play the best teams in North America. And so it's been a real fun project. We're in the midst of recruiting that second team right now, and recruiting a few more. There'll be always some changes on that original team. And so we're all hands on deck with that. We definitely, I'm talking to some parents here and there, and trying to establish that program, as is Keith and Rob, and exciting things to come. I think you're going to see that program's only going to grow and flourish, and it's been a great addition to the hockey community in Central New York.
Oh, it certainly has. I mean, you got that. You got the Utica Junior Comets going on. Wonderful things happening right here in Central New York. Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to ask you one more question before you go, because I know you're a big Maple Leafs fan. Are they going to
Yeah.
make a move before the deadline?
I think they should. I think Morgan Riley is a D man. You can get a lot for him right now. I've never loved him defensively, but certainly he can really put some points on the board offensively. I thought it was really interesting that Team USA named Austin Matthews captain. I mean, I could just see the Tkachuk brothers that I think really lead that group, being a little pissed off that you've kind of got a team that's not doing great. You name him captain again, but my locker room's a buzz with this Olympic hockey right now, because we do have
Oh, I bet.
we have a Swede, we have a Finn, obviously 13, 14 Americans, and then we have 8 or 9 Canadians. So it's actually a lot of fun in our locker room right now. And the Finns are on the ice right now. And so we're all on the Finnish team right now. And Gullickson on our team, his brother plays on that Finnish national team, Eric
Oh,
Holler.
really?
So we're rooting for him, no question about it. And just as an aside, on the women's side, Della Rivera for us, his sister is playing for the Italian national team. She's a dual citizen Canadian. She played at Harvard. good. And she had the game winner against Japan a couple days ago. And Delhi went over to watch that game.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so he's on his
That's
way
awesome.
back right now to join us for the weekend. But of course, we need him. He's our first line center.
Yeah.
But that family's got super exciting things happening, and the Italians have made the the quarterfinals already, first time in their history in women's Olympic hockey. So there's a lot happening in our locker room as well, with just siblings involved in the Olympic hockey, and it's just great to be around the rink these days.
It's the best time of the year right now.
For sure.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you for, like I said, for taking the time to come on and talk to us. We really appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the season, and we'll see you Friday night.
Scott, I hope so. Hope to see you in the room for a beer soon.
Absolutely. You got it.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Utica Pioneers head coach Gary Heenan. Awesome guest, as always, a friend of the show, always willing to come on whenever we ask him, and we just love the guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we are going to have another old friend of ours, Jordan Brockway, is going to come on to talk about the Pioneers. So we'll be right back.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
All right, we're back. And speaking of back, look at him. There he is. What is going on, Jordan?
Not a lot and not a lot all at the same time.
Not a lot. That's interesting. Very philosophical.
Yeah, I guess so. It's the little things.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
We were waiting for that.
Yeah.
We were waiting for that. That's awesome. So, my friend, you are pretty much the Utica Pioneers super fan. You've been at every game this season at home, and I know you've been on a couple out on the road. What have you seen from this Utica Pioneers men's hockey team?
It's been a lot. You know, like Coach Heenan said earlier, the power play struggled to begin the season, and then out of the break, adding Nick Rogers and Stefan Kuznetsov, all of a sudden it explodes, it clicks. They found the right guys. Special teams has come a long way since the break, and that was the Pioneers' big thing. Looking at the rest of the team, just in terms of 5-on-5, some of the additions they brought in look really good. Nick Ahern and John Gott on a line is a very good combo. I'd argue they're probably the best producing line this season. I think Ahern still leads the team in points, and they're both
26.
up there in goals for the squad. And then Kuznetsov, I think, is probably one of the best mid-season additions for the Pioneers in a long time. He's a freshman from WNE, and he's already producing at over 1.5 points a game, which is insane for any sort of freshman.
Sure. And then to go to a brand new team mid-season and do it.
And he's producing better than he did in Western New England, which
right.
That's another level of good. And then you have some of the freshmen that have come in and been given big roles by Coach Heenan. Sal Serrato has been consistently running in the lineup, and he's playing for someone that came in. I heard, he's 5'7" listed. He's small. What is he going to do? Well, he's top 3 in assists among freshman defensemen. And I think he just dropped out of the top 10, but he's hovering at like title 11th among freshmen in assists overall, which nobody expected that, especially with a decor that a lot of new faces came in, him, Gurman, Hilfiger, Guckler, and they're all producing in their own way. And what we've seen recently is just this whole team has come together. They clicked. They know how to play, when to play, what to play. The chemistry is there. And now they have the road in front of them, whereas earlier in the year, when they took those 4 losses against a very good Hobart and Adrian team, everybody thought, oh, it's pretty much over. You can only win the conference. Well, now they're number 5 in NPI, and with 2 wins against Geneseo, I think that puts them in a spot, especially with Endicott playing Johnson and Wales 3 of the last 4 games.
Right.
The wins against Geneseo would keep them in the top 4 of the NPI.
Well, the strength of schedule is huge there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Endicott's got the lowest strength of schedule of anybody in the top 5. And, I mean, they're what? 0.09 points out of number 4 in MPI.
Yeah.
Like Coach Heenan was saying, it's crazy how tight it is, right? But those games earlier in the season, of course, help you out in MPI. And when you look at the Pioneers loss, and you're right, people were writing the Pioneers off, but it's like, wait a minute, Hobart's number 1, right? Adrian's number 3, and their other loss to Hamilton. Hamilton was number 2, just recently dropped down to number 3. So it's not like there was like huge upset losses involved here. And they were a bounce of a puck away from beating Hobart again, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as last year in the national championship. So it's not like these were like horrible losses that they were taking. These are the highest quality teams that you're going to play in Division III this season. And it just didn't go their way.
And if you watch the Pioneers in those games, they weren't. I still think the D1 guys coming down were adjusting to the system and the speed. And I still think a guy like Long, he is still adjusting to the speed, because sometimes he'll make plays that are out of this world. And other times I watch him, I go, you're in a position where in D1 you would have been there. And I think that was a struggle for them early on, was they're playing at a speed different from the guys that are coming in as freshmen and different from the guys that were here. And there was just that disconnect. Well, out of the break, I don't know what they did. I don't know who did what, whatever happened, it clicked. Because now everybody is on the same page all the time. You see Gary's system kind of getting run now. And you see these things that are normal to watch in Pioneer hockey that haven't been getting done during the year beforehand.
Well, you got to think about it too. I mean, there was a ton of roster turnover with the graduations. You had a couple coming in midseason. So naturally, it's going to take time for players to gel. Right, because not only did you have the portal guys coming in, but you also had freshmen coming in that were coming in from junior hockey or wherever they were coming from. So they didn't have a lot of time to get together. And when you start off the season against the Adrians and the Hobarts, it's not like you get a couple run-up games to get used to everybody, right? I mean, granted, yeah, they played a couple exhibition games, but that's exhibition. That is not regular season. So I mean, they started off against the Giants of D3 right off the bat. And I'll tell you something, even though, like I said, it didn't go their way, I think that's really, really helped them now. Having that experience against the teams like Hobarts, the Adrians, the Hamiltons of the world, I think that's going to really help them going forward into the UCHC and into the NCAAs.
Yeah, and I have my feelings on the Hamilton game. That game, I don't even want to get into that tangent, but there was some questionable calls that I know refs, and I went to them and I said, what call would you make on this? And they disagree with what the refs on the ice said. And I go, I'm like, okay, you can't take the game out of the players' hands. That game turned into a ref game. Okay. But after that, with the adversity they faced, it seemed like they just stepped up. They beat us, we go. And then they just start to run the rest of the table. And that's what they had to do to get back in it. Now it went from everyone was saying, oh, Utica's out of it. And I remember D3 Hockey News, it was a post that said, Utica may be the best 0-4 team around. And a lot of people...
I think you said in the history of D3 hockey, actually.
Yep.
Which, though? Kind of prophetic.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people said, oh, that's... You're favoring the Pioneers. That's Pioneer propaganda. And I literally looked at I go, you got to take it as it is. Utica just lost to 2 of arguably the best teams in the last 5 years. And they kept it close in most of those. And a lot of these people saying, oh, the box score, the shots. I'm like, I understand the Pioneers in recent history, when they outshoot teams, they usually can win. They only have 2 losses this year when being outshot, and one of them was Hamilton, which was really a 1-goal game. So you look at it, they did not play that bad on tape. The box score blows it out of proportion of how much of a gap there really was. And I think if they played them now, Utica doesn't need that bounce to win. They don't need that one little play. They could have won.
Well, I mean, again, that's exactly it. Sometimes it just comes down to the bounce of the puck. But regardless of, what happened already this season, that's all rearview mirror stuff. Looking forward now, going into the UCH season, to the NCAAs. And I got to tell you, man, I'm just so thrilled that it's back in Utica this year for the Frozen Four. I really am.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, especially since I looked at the numbers. If the Pioneers stayed top 4 in MPI and they were to run the table and move through the conference and shock everyone like last year, a number 4 gives them a home seed throughout the playoffs. Number 4 higher.
Right.
So I'm sitting here going, I really want them to get that top 4, just because if they do start to just go, that would be great, because then you do it all at home in front of a home crowd, even though according to the NCAA, it's not a home game. It's a home game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's just, it'd be exciting. I would be very excited if they managed to pull that off.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. So, as we are heading to the finish line here, any closing thoughts about the season?
Not much, other than this is definitely a very weird season by Pioneer standards. Everything has been off the wall, crazy. I couldn't have predicted that this went this way. I thought they would have split early on. It would have been a little bit of an easier road, but the Pioneers have stepped up, and I think they're going to be another underdog coming into the tournament that no one's going to really give credence, and then they're going to go, okay, watch this.
Right. So, alrighty. Well, you know what? It's good to have you back, buddy. It's been a while.
Good to be back.
It's like I said, the common flock has returned. He has flown back to the Central New York Hockey Report podcast. And you'll have to come back on again now too. You know that, right? Now you're obligated.
Yeah, I'll come back on.
So, all right, perfect. All right, well, that's all the time we have for this episode. And again, we want to thank Gary Heenan for coming on, and we want to thank you, the listener, for watching and listening. Wherever you are watching and listening, please follow, subscribe, or mash that subscribe button, as I always say, because it does help the show. All right, that's all the time we got. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.